$9. It combines a contemporary modern design with a spot-resistant finish for a beautifully clean look in your bathroom. Today is the day for doing and stylish updates at the Home Depot Days of Doing Bath and Kitchen event going on now. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Offer valid through October 5th while supplies last.
This is Halftime.
Talking with Bobby Portis, former Arkansas Razorback, current New York Knick, here on Halftime. You mentioned your situation growing up with brothers in a single-parent home with your mom. I've heard you touch on this subject before. What advice would you have for these kids growing up that were in similar situation to what you were?
You know, take your time with it. Obviously, everybody's path is different. Everybody's journey is going to be, different on anything that you want to do. But, one thing I've always prided myself on working hard and, staying down because, I always knew that the cream always rises to the top. That's one thing my mom used to always tell me, that if I work hard, I can be what I want to be. If I work hard and, put the time and put the effort in, then obviously, one day it'll happen for me, and it happened for me. So I would tell a kid that, coming from the same place I came from to, just always believe in yourself. Just work hard and stay down. I think the cream always rises to the top, and, God takes care of people who work hard.
Every weekday from 12 to 2, only on ESPN 95.3.
OG&E is offering home energy efficiency upgrades for a limited group of Arkansas customers, all for free. OG&E's weatherization program improves your comfort and reduces your energy bills by giving you everything from new attic insulation, caulking, sealing air leaks, even energy-saving LED bulbs and more. That's thousands of dollars in free home improvements, but only a limited number of OG&E customers can qualify. Visit OGE.com/weatherization now.
Football season is here at Crabtree RV in Alma. We make tailgating with your favorite team very affordable, with discounts up to $15,000 off new fifth wheels and $10,000 off new travel trailers. Check out deals like the new Catalina with patio for as low as $249 a month. Browse the area's largest indoor showroom and explore the new 2020 styles from Grand Design and Coachman Freedom Express. That's only at Crabtree RV in Alma, where your family's dreams come true.
Your number one Arkansas fan, Auto Owners Insurance and Kohler and Green Insurance is a winning combination. We will work with you to insure your home, auto, business, and life to keep everything you value safe, sound, secure. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit Kohler and Green Insurance in Fort Smith. Call 484-9888. And Kohler and Green Insurance in Van Buren. Call 474-9888 today or online at kohlergreen.com.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Unlimited personal group training at the Fort Smith Athletic Club. Personal group training is a great way to create accountability for your fitness while improving mobility, endurance, and overall wellness. Reach your fitness goals faster with personal group training. Only $60 a month. Call Mike Johnson at 479-926-0193. These workouts are high intensity and get results in under an hour. Only $60 a month. Call for class schedules and details. 479-926-0193. Results happen here at the Fort Smith Athletic Club.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Plenty of sunshine with us today. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the upper 80s to low 90s. Tonight, scattered clouds, overnight lows upper 60s. I think we could see an isolated shower or storm back with us on Tuesday. Our high will be just over 90 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by Hertz Car Sales, 2810 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith. You can call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 26 days.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson.
You do a fantastic job on the radio. There's no one else in this league I'd rather listen to, so keep up the good work.
And Tye Richardson.
Your show is really, really good, guys.
2 more quarters, and after that, most of you will never play this game again.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown.
How about that Heisman, Mark Jones?
How do you like
it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
First full week of practice, and here we are on a Monday in August. Phil Elson here with you. Tye Richardson in the ESPN Arkansas studios. Good to have you along for a halftime today. If you want to get in with us via text or phone call, get a hold of us on the Cherokee Casino hotline at 877-377-6963. During the show today, we have Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South. A national perspective, really more of a regional perspective on what's going on across the SEC. Scotty Bordelon joins us, hour number 2, to talk about what was going on at Arkansas football practice over the weekend. And there actually is something going on right now inside the stadium. There is real, natural grass being laid down. The grass made its way from the farm in eastern Arkansas. J.B. Hunt truck drove it all the way across the state, being installed right now. So an anticipated arrival inside the football stadium, though the players don't get a chance to practice on that real natural turf for at least a couple of weeks. Got to let that stuff take first. And so they remain inside or outside the Fred Smith Football Center, indoor, outdoor, practice a little bit indoor in the rain on Saturday, be outdoors today, nice, warm, and hot. Great weather to get out there and try to find a way to cool off after practice, because, I mean, they've been out there for a couple of hours by now. 10:05 practice, according to the Arkansas Fall Camp media schedule. And, Ty, they had the last media day over the weekend, because you had your SEC media days that you attended in Hoover last month. That was league-wide, 3 players, every head coach, and virtually every media outlet that matters being there as well. And then there was media day for Arkansas players on Saturday after the 10 o'clock practice that took place in the rain. So a chance to get in front of cameras that maybe weren't there in Hoover, and also some other players and coaches that weren't around for SEC Media Day. Now, definitely, Ty, the biggest thing that comes out from the weekend is the first injury of the weekend, or of the season, really. And this could affect Arkansas, because one of the players who was supposed to compete for a starting spot on the right side of the offensive line, Noah Gatlin, went down with an ACL tear. And Noah got into 3 games last year, was able to keep his red shirt. But a guy that, I mean, you're talking about an offensive line that really is lacking a lot of experience. And then it's not that he's one of the most experienced players that was competing for a spot, but he did have some experience playing against SEC teams. He's out probably for the entire season. Those ACL tears do take quite a while to recover from. So, I mean, at this point of practice, really, the most news that you read will be bad news. Otherwise, it's just a matter of who's practicing with who, stuff like that. You know, the injuries are really the thing that kind of shakes the earth a little bit for you. And it's not that he was going to be a starter. It's not that Noah Gatlin was going to be your starting right tackle. He was going to compete for that position with Dalton Wagner. But now you know. It's a good thing that that this coaching staff has more offensive linemen to work with than last year. And goodness, one injury on the offensive line at this point last year, and you had about a handful of them about a year ago, that would have almost completely decimated the line. And it did. You don't necessarily feel that way right now, but it is a tough way to start for an offensive line that's still rebuilding from the ground up.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the position groups, along with probably the linebacker, that you can't really afford to lose guys regardless if they're starters or not, because at some point in time during the season, you're going to have a starter get nicked up and have to come out, whether it's a long period of time, a short period of time. It's just the wear and tear of the SEC, Phil, and for the offensive line to be where it is compared to what it was last year, yes, that's good. But for this guy to go down and then deplete the depth a little bit, it's exactly what Chad Morris didn't want. And ACL sometimes, I suffered mine playing basketball, but a lot of times they're non-contact, which is kind of what, based on what we heard. I wasn't there, so I if I remember reading it correctly,
well, they didn't even have pads on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just helmets and shorts.
Correct.
So I don't think it would have been contact.
Yeah, so that's a real bummer for Noah Gatlin, and you just hope that the offensive line can kind of hold up and no one else gets injured before the start of the season, because like I just mentioned, you're probably going to have a guy or two that might get nicked up at some point in the season. You hopefully not the entire season, but maybe a game or two. It's just kind of the inevitable part of playing the SEC. It comes along with the territory, Phil.
And remember, I mean, we still think, although there's a lot of ground to make up for the offense and Chad Morris's second year, but you feel like you're in a much better position quarterbacks-wise. You feel like you're in a better position with your wide receivers, though there isn't necessarily a ton of experience. There's probably more talent there and speed. You feel really good about where you are with your running backs and your tight ends. The one spot, and it's not really the one spot, but the spot that the most question marks arise from, and really where things can break down from the very start of a play or even before a play starts, it's on that offensive line. So that would be the one spot. It's not like you could choose, if I'd rather have an injury, I'd like to have it at this position or at that position. But it's offensive line that you can't afford too many injuries here in the start of the season. So, I mean, you're without Gatlin now the rest of the year, and that's something we'll be paying attention to throughout the rest of this. Again, I'm not going to call it fall practice, spring practice. It can't be fall practice when it's like 95 degrees outside in Fayetteville. But they did get in front of the cameras. They did get in front of the media and spoke with a lot of writers. And I knew you would put the thing about Nick Starkel and Justin Bieber on our rundown, because
we don't have to touch on it. Just I know it was on there. So.
It's fine though. It's okay to put that there, because what does Media Day show? It shows personality. You're going to hear stories about this player and that. Where do you think you fit in? Tell me what you think of that teammate, so on and so forth. But really, what you're finding out about are these kids' personalities, and it does seem that Nick Starkel has a fun personality, even if he didn't want to sing the Justin Bieber song. I don't blame him if he didn't want to do it, but I don't know who was the teammate that was standing there with him that virtually forced him to sing to 5 News' Clara Goodwin and did the lyrics for him before Nick finally figured, you know what, I'm just gonna glom on and go for it.
It was T.J. Hammonds. He was kind of ushering him to do that, and he started singing, and Nick was just kind of like sitting there, and then all of a sudden he chimed in as well. So it was funny. You got to listen. Since we are talking about it, we might as well play it.
Nick Starkel, man, sing a Justin Bieber song for us real quick, man.
No, they literally just asked me that, and I told them no. I won't sing. I won't sing.
I know you love me.
Wow.
Say it.
Dude,
say
I'm
it.
not
Say it.
I know. I'm not doing it.
Say it. Say it.
I can't sing.
I know you love me. I know you care. I shall we never, and I'll be there. You are my love. You are my heart.
And we will never, ever, ever be apart.
Every night,
girl, quit playing.
We just friends.
What are you saying?
That's it, guys. TJ Hammond's out.
Should he be allowed to sing Justin Bieber until he wins an SEC game?
I'll tell you what. I mean, you only heard a little bit from Starkel there, but I do think that his voice was no good. Sounded scratchy. Sounded like somebody that was shouting at practice quite a bit. I think TJ Hammond's sounds to me like the kid can sing a little bit, or at least isn't shy about showing off in front of the cameras. We'd like to see Boy, we've been waiting for like 3 years for TJ Hammonds to really show off in front of the cameras that matter on Saturdays in the middle of a game. But he's not camera shy, and he's not shy about playing around with potentially his quarterback. It also looked to me that it's not, Starkel looked a little bit embarrassed. I think the Justin Bieber thing for him, he's got to get a little bit tired about just being asked about it. But he's playful. He was even playful with Hammonds there. He seems to have, to me, the kind of personality that, and I don't know what he's going to be like during a game or on the sidelines or necessarily in practice, but he just seems to be somebody that, today's late teenager, early 20s football player can get with. Not maybe as a leader, but definitely somebody that they would like to play behind. And I don't know if you see, didn't Ben Hicks seem more like the not a stick in the mud, but just very down to earth and very, I'm a quarterback and we'll see what happens here. Nick Starkel seems to be more like just like his nickname, Nicky Sparkles.
And Starkel does a little bit to himself. I mean, he took I was going through it, and I just want to make sure I wasn't not accurately depicting what happened, but he took a picture of the Justin Bieber shirt under the Arkansas jersey. So it's not like the flack that he might get for liking Justin Bieber and just singing his stuff. He does that to himself. He might act like he doesn't like the spotlight, but the kid likes the spotlight, which is fine as long as you win football games. I don't think Arkansas fans really care if he's trying to garner attention or not. But one of the things, Tom, that I hadn't put it on I don't know why I just called you Tom, Phil, that I wanted to talk about.
Look like a Tom.
I know, but here's the thing. Tom Murphy wrote that. It was the piece on Starkel and Hicks, and it was talking about in that piece and what is it called again? Hogs in. You referenced it last week. It was the new Hogs. Hogs in Review. I can't think of what it's called. You've referenced it like
Hog Futures.
Yes, that's it.
I was wondering where you're going with that.
I was like, how can I not remember that? So Hog Futures, he referenced that. And one of the things that we didn't touch on last week that we should have is part of what he asked Nick Starkel was about Ben Hicks. And he was like, yeah, we're not buddy-buddy. We're like that. And I don't think we touched on that last week. And I was talking to Tom a little bit on Media Day and talking to some other guys about it. And apparently it sparked an outrage. But I kind of like Starkel's honesty. I'd much rather him tell us and tell the Arkansas fan base that him and Ben Hicks are not the best of friends compared to he's my best friend, sunshine, rainbows, all we do is hang out with each other. I want them to be a little, and it's a little bit what we referred to on Friday. There needs to be a little tenseness. There needs to be a little competition. I'm not talking about hatred, blind hatred for one another. They also can't be buddy-buddy either. And so there's just going to be that constant back and forth that we'll see until someone's named a starter. And even after that point, where their different personalities, how their different talents on the field, what their traits are on the field, they're going to keep going back and forth. This is not going to be one of those conversations that's just going to end once the season begins or end once one guy takes the job over, because there's always going to be a side of the fan base that thinks Hicks should be the guy and a side of the fan base that Starkel thinks is the guy. And I thought Tom did a really good job on that piece, and I thought that it illustrated kind of what fans want to actually hear, which is they're not the best of friends, which is a good thing, Phil.
Whichever one of them comes out of camp as the second stringer, but eventually is going to play early in the season. I don't think there's anybody that thinks that somebody's going to take every snap or start every game from 1 through 11. But both of these quarterbacks last year were passed over on the teams that they had already started for the year before. I mean, you can look to another situation like what happened with Kelly Bryant and Clemson, where Bryant takes them to a college football playoff appearance, and the next year is supplanted early in the season by Trevor Lawrence. Obviously was the right call by Dabo Swinney, as Lawrence, wins a national title and is probably a front runner for the Heisman Trophy this year. But Kelly Bryant went on his free agency tour starting in October. He said, the hell with this. I'm not part of this team anymore, so this isn't for me to be around. And remember, he was gone by the time Clemson almost lost to Syracuse, a game that he would have been inserted into after Lawrence's injury. And he was gone by that point. Both Starkel and Hicks had a chance to, not like they would have gone on the same kind of high-profile free agency tour that Bryant went on for a good month and a half there, but they both stuck around. Continued to practice. Starkel was up front about being disappointed and told Jimbo Fisher exactly that, but he did not announce his intent to transfer immediately. Maybe it was expected, but he didn't go on some large spectacle. To me, it seems like, and you want the quarterback who doesn't win this battle to be hurt about it. any quarterback that doesn't get on the football field is going to be upset, especially when you transferred to a program and you're going to that team because you expect to play. But I don't imagine that either one of these quarterbacks will be a so-called locker room cancer or cause problems like that. I think players might have they'll have their own mind made up about who they'd rather have at quarterback. I don't see that either one of these kids would feed the fire, with the way that they're acting in the locker room. It's not that and I would expect that if Ben Hicks is the starter for the Ole Miss game, that Nick Starkel is on the sideline cheering on the successes. At the same rate that I would expect Ben Hicks to do the same thing if Starkel is the starting quarterback for Ole Miss. Because let's be honest here, Ole Miss is opening day. I don't care what you say about Portland State.
And I think we had the SMU play-by-play guy on a couple months back. We've both talked to Billy Lucci and Gabe Bach from Texags, and I don't remember a whole lot about the SMU play-by-play guy speaking to Ben Hicks, what he was like in the locker room. But I do know, based on what Gabe Bach and Billy told us, that Nick Starkel seems like a pretty good teammate, and they really respected how he handled the situation where Kellen Mond took over the starting position and retained it for the entire season. So if Ben Hicks is to start and is the starter, you hope that Nick Starkel has that same mindset, even though that he obviously wants to come here and play from day one. That's the mentality. You hope that both Hicks and Starkel are 100% gunning for that starting job, which, based on what we've seen, based on what we heard, that's exactly what's happening. But to speak to your point, when the guy that doesn't get the starting job, or if Starkel takes over or whatever ends up transpiring these next few weeks, you hope that the loser of the battle doesn't get upset, get butthurt, and just kind of destroy the team chemistry in the locker room. Because what I touched on Friday, there's going to be at some point in time a divided locker room. And I'm not talking about just aggressive, constant bickering and stuff, but some guys are going to prefer playing with Starkel at QB. Some guys are going to be playing with Hicks. And when the eventual starter retains that position long term, you got to hope that those guys, whoever side are on, eventually go over to the other side, because otherwise, Phil, this team has enough problems. Depth, talent, and on. They don't need to add on to that. And so if there's a divided locker room like we potentially talked about, that's just going to hurt Arkansas anymore. Phil, you know as well as I do, this team doesn't need any other cons associated in 2019. They need all the help they can get, and a good team chemistry is 100% going to need to be a part of that.
Now, I think there's a 100% chance that it's either Hicks or Starkel that start every game this year. But you got a very talented incoming 4-star freshman recruit, KJ Jefferson, who seems to be everything that Chad Morris and Joe Craddock would want from that position. Strong throwing arm, accuracy, speedy, not necessarily a running quarterback, but somebody that's got more speed than both Ben Hicks and Nick Starkel potentially put together. Are we sleeping a little bit on the potential of maybe seeing KJ Jefferson maybe not start, but to get on the field in certain packages to show off the talents that got him to campus in the first place?
Well, Clay Henry touched on this a little bit and this morning on the Morning Rush, and I think that's an argument that can be made, because if this guy is grasping the offense and has more arm strength and is better than you initially thought when we were coming in, we'll get to what Chad Morris said about both him and Starkel grasping the offense in a sec. I think you have to. But to kind of go the other way and to play devil's advocate, do you really want to burn a guy's red shirt for a couple plays during the year? And again, you only get 4 games throughout the entire season that you can play and still hold on to that red shirt.
And one snap on the field constitutes one game play.
Correct. It's not if you play 4 quarters and that adds up to a game. It's one game. So that's going to be a situation that Joe Craddock, Chad Morris, and his staff are going to have to look over, because if they feel like in practice this guy brings an ability that both Starkel and Hicks don't, which is being able to run the football as a dual threat quarterback and can scare defenses enough with an arm, then I think they have to at least look into the situation. I'm not advocating it just yet, because we don't know, because we haven't seen him do anything outside of a little fall camp, and you know as well as I do that doesn't indicate virtually anything. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward. Again, you can't lean either way at this point, but it's definitely going to be a talking point that we'll have heading into the season, and definitely during the season as well.
And Chad Morris was asked about KJ Jefferson Media Day Saturday. Here's his answer.
With Nick and KJ, really their first time out there in a setting where the whole team is, for a practice, I was pleased. I was really pleased with KJ. I thought that he definitely you could tell he had been working this summer as Nick and grasping, our install for the day. I thought it came very natural to KJ, especially on some of our zone reads. I thought he looked really comfortable doing that. Now there's some techniques and some intricate details we got to get. Same way with Nick, getting Nick to understand what the answers are out on the edge if the ball is pulled. But I was pleased with both of them, and I think they're both well ahead. I knew Nick would be, but I thought KJ was well ahead of where I thought he would be.
And that's the point that he just said at the very end. He's happy with Nick's progress. He's kind of like, I think he'd wear a B, but then kind of towards the end where he tacks on, and I'm pleasantly surprised where KJ's at. Again, we all know at this point in the season, there's a lot of coach speak that goes on. Oftentimes these coaches, regardless if it's Morris or anything else, aren't going to blatantly criticize or call someone out because it's just not, it doesn't happen a lot of times. They'll do that in the locker room, in-house. But if he's true to his word, if he's 100% on what he's saying, that definitely is a talking point, again, that we'll touch on during the season.
More on the quarterback battle at Arkansas, more on the installation of real natural grass at Razorback Stadium as well. But first, don't forget it's lunchtime. Go over to Hardee's. Got the Charbroiled Double Deal going right now. Just $2.49 each. You'll get either a double cheeseburger, the bacon cheddar double, or backed by popular demand, it's the Hardee's Classic. If you're hungry, double the beef, triple the options. Hardee's, because it tastes better. We'll come back after the break on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
The best midday show in the Natty State. You're listening to Halftime. This is the Morning Rush.
The last SEC game that Arkansas has won in Fayetteville, mind you, 2016.
We're in 19.
Yes. Yes.
There was a 17 and an 18 season.
That's right. And if you don't win one of those SEC games this year against Auburn, Mississippi State, which are going to be difficult games, you're looking at 3 straight years of 0 SEC wins in Fayetteville.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized agency and dealer in the River Valley. The 29 new models of Xerox business printers and copiers represent a quantum leap forward in office technology. They are designed for the way we work today, safely and securely. They're powered by Xerox Connect Key technology. They're innovative and affordable with both black and white and color devices available. For more information, give Dixie Digital a call at 783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing Xerox document innovations to the River Valley.
I'm Lisa Hinton, owner of Champ Hinton Enterprises. For nearly 50 years, the Champ Hinton name has stood for one thing: selling quality cars in a different way, taking the mumbo jumbo out of the process and making customers happy. All these years and tens of thousands of cars later, we're still here, doing business the way Champ Hinton taught us, selling to generations of families who've become part of our family. Champ Hinton Enterprises, the area's premier used car dealer. Take the Arcoma exit off I-540 or go online at champhinton.com.
True Grit Running Company is where perseverance meets passion. Whether you're training for your next marathon or just comfortable shoes to keep up with your kids, we have the gear to help you reach your goals. With our slow motion gait analysis and our extensive product knowledge, we have the right pair of shoes for you. We also carry apparel, nutrition, hydration accessories, injury prevention gear, and recovery products. We offer classes, workshops, and group runs. Lace up, show up, and get your grit on. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Hey, Tye Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? Yep, they do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with a flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
60 is not that old. But when you're talking about a business, 60 proves you have the ability to keep your customers happy and change with the times. Guardtronic is celebrating their 60th year in business. Founded in 1959, Guardtronic has been securing homes all over the area for 60 years. Give them a call anytime. There's always someone there to get a free quote for securing your home. 785-2323 or guardtronic.com. Happy birthday, Guardtronic. License E050.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
Attention, please! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, offering smart looks for back to school and serving your community daily. Supercuts, we're super in style. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Brantley trying to turn the corner, lost the football, and the Hawks have it. They will have it at the 35-yard line. Jevin Calloway came up to make the hit.
877-377-6963, our Cherokee Casino hotline. That's for text or voice. If you text us, let us know your name and your location, and we can announce those things to our listenership here on Halftime. We ran into the break talking about the quarterback position battle at Arkansas. Of course, that's going to get most of the headlines and generate most of the conversation. Tye, you had asked Chad Morris about an exact date while you were at SEC Media Days. I had trouble, paying attention to your question at that moment because your shirt game was just on high level that day. And, of course, you had a lot more hair then, too. Plus, it was just a shock instead of seeing you on my iPad during our FaceTime that I was actually watching you on the television on SEC Network. But your question was you asked that question for a purpose, for the way that you asked it. You asked about a specific day that Chad Morris would announce a starting quarterback. And I questioned asking about a specific day, but I think your point is well taken. The idea that it took so long last year, even going into the season, and then as the season started in the first few weeks, to figure out, who Chad Morris wanted to have at that position. And so with an uptick in the talent level at that position and an uptick at the understanding of the Chad Morris, Joe Craddock offense at that position, during this camp, you want to come out of the camp knowing a true starter, a designated starter, somebody that you've had confidence not just starting week 1 against Portland State, but week 2 against Ole Miss, 3, 4, 5 against Colorado State, San Jose State, and Texas A&M. And so this is going to be something that Chad is asked about throughout the rest of the month and probably even into the first 2-3 weeks of the season. When are you planning on naming a starting quarterback for your team?
And he said literally the exact same thing at SEC Media Days.
As far as a timeline of when we plan on naming a quarterback, I mean, like I said, I would much rather name one sooner than later, but I'm not going to put a time limit on it. It'll work itself out. It always does.
It always does. Did it ever really work itself out last year? I don't think it worked itself out from the start of August through the end of November.
Nope.
Yep, it never worked itself out, and the way that situation was handled, but a little bit of a detriment to the team too. More in a leadership case than anything, because let's be honest here, neither Cole Kelly nor Ty Story was fit to lead an SEC offense, no matter what else was going on. But it's different this year with Ben Hicks and with Nick Starkel. It's not that they're all SEC caliber talent, although there's some that'll tell you Nick Starkel has that sort of talent. You're going to exactly. You hear the same answer a month ago. You hear the same answer now. But really, I mean, how much time for right now does somebody have to separate themselves from number 2? Now we saw Andrew Hutchinson put a 4 deep essentially of what he viewed at practice in the 20 or so minutes that media was allowed to watch practice on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and he's got Hicks 1 and Starkel 2, but that's no surprise. Talk to us in a couple of weeks, right? And maybe things change a little bit. All right, so grass is being laid on the field right now. And are you excited about this, Ty? I mean, there's a lot made of it. You know, it's been 10 years since Arkansas football played on grass at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. And I'll say this, I mean, during baseball season, how much bitching and moaning did I do about fields that had either 90% artificial turf or, you know, like Kentucky, or even in the case of Vanderbilt where there's no dirt on the field at all, even the pitcher's mound. And I hate seeing it. Does it matter that much in football? What's your opinion about grass on the field at Razorback Stadium? Because Chad Morris and Hunter Yurachek are saying, I mean, this is the way football is meant to be played. There is evidence in the last, 30, 40 years, maybe that's not quite the case. What do you think? Are you excited about grass?
Well, I personally enjoy playing on grass more than I do turf, and I know my opinion of personal preference isn't that big of a deal. It's been said that it's easier to play faster on turf, but there are also more injuries associated with turf through some research. So it's kind of a catch-22 where you get some good stuff, some bad stuff. And I think most fans, I don't know if they have a huge opinion on this. Personally, like my opinion's grass. Like, where do you reside on this matter? Are you a turf guy? Are you a grass guy? Do you really care?
I mean, I like grass, and more of it is because of the extra cushion that you get from it. And also, I mean, I've read where some of those ground up tire bits can cause infection issues.
Yeah, there's that issue too.
You can actually inhale that a little bit. Of course, you can inhale dirt too, but the body can inhale more dirt and keep going than it can plastic and keep going. So I wonder about that a little bit. But it's funny too, because I mean, I could point out the differences between football and baseball until the cows come home, and even then some after that. But it seems to me people have much more direct and stated and heartfelt opinions about what baseball players are playing on than they do football. It just doesn't seem to matter very much. Maybe it's the proximity to the field. I don't know. I feel weird watching a baseball game that's played on 100% turf. There are obvious reasons for schools to do that, but for football, it doesn't bother me as much, or really at all.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if you necessarily have to have a strong opinion on this. I mean, we know what Chad Morris is when it concerns the grass.
There's nothing better than a freshly cut grass field on a Saturday afternoon. It's painted up. It's got a pop to it. It's got a smell to it. Again, that's just it's football in its natural state.
You know how sometimes when you hear coach or hear a athletic director, there's a scripted answer. That didn't seem scripted. It seems like he genuinely likes that. When you talks about Little Rock, or one of the athletic administrators talk about Little Rock, that's a scripted answer. You can tell it's been calculated, it's been played out so it doesn't offend anyone how they answered the question. That seems genuine. And so that leads me to believe that he was really the initiator in this. Sometimes the athletic department decides on something, the coach just has to abide by it and go along with it. This doesn't seem to be the case with grass. And if the head coach is behind it, I think you should probably, and this doesn't apply to everything, but I think in this case, Arkansas fans should get behind it as well.
And he's talking more about the aesthetic features of grass, the smell, which I love, the sight, which, it'll pop more as long as it's taken care of well. And the sort of grass that are putting on the field now, Tahoma 31 is what it's called, is supposed to be hardy, can take the wear and tear when temperatures drop. So, again, I don't know if there's a real competitive purpose. Good morning, Vietnam! And obviously, Adrian Cronauer was a big fan of this stuff as well.
Sorry about that, bud.
That's all right. But I think that that the grass on the field will look better. It'll smell better, just like a baseball game would as well. All right, that went away. All right, good thing too.
We're good to go. Sorry, I don't know why I just loaded in like that. So
that's okay. Sometimes buttons get pushed that you didn't necessarily mean to. So that's getting installed right now, and what is it? A couple of weeks until they can actually practice on the field at Razorback Stadium. So let that stuff take.
15th, right? And then obviously the media is taking pictures and stuff today. But I think was it the 15th that they get to start? There's a timeline.
Right.
Matt Jones put it out, timeline whole hog, so I need to go back and look at that. But I think the 15th, if I remember that correct, that's right.
Well, I hope that grass takes better than the last time I saw a grass field installed, which was at Dickey Stevens Park in Little Rock, again with the Travelers building that park in 2007. By the middle of that baseball season, they had literally no grass on the field. They were painting dirt green because of overseeding with way too much rain. Oh, by the way, you still see problems with that baseball field as well. So you really get one chance to install it right. Do it right. I'm sure they are. We'll step aside. We got Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South coming on to talk college football next. It's on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Good coaches win. Great coaches cover. This is Halftime.
Hey, this is Ted with Ed Walker's Drive-In. For more than 70 years, Ed Walker's has been the place to go for the best French dips and hand-patted hamburgers in town. Blue Plate Specials served Monday through Friday, and we're still the home of Fort Smith's only 5-pound hamburger. We're open 10 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week. Call ahead for pickup, 783-3352. Ed Walker's Drive-In, 1500 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, where the legend lives on.
Metal Direct offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shops, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Direct assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by their location at 7420 Inmar Drive in Little Rock, 1 block off University behind Napa Auto Parts, or call them at 501-562-3112. Metal Direct, the right material for the right price.
Painting your ceiling but afraid of the mess? Hurry to Meadows Lumber True Value for a gallon of bright white Easy Care ceiling paint for only $12.99. This non-splatter quick-dry formula is water-based acrylic, so it's less messy and cleans up easily with soap and water. It also comes with a 15-year warranty. Pick up this great bargain of the month along with brushes, ladders, tarps, and other accessories to make your painting project go smoothly while supplies last. Have questions? Just ask the painting experts at Meadows Lumber True Value.
It's the Rock and Roll Endless Pools event going on right now at Burton Pools and Spas in Fort Smith and in Springdale. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. If you've seen them on TV and always wondered about an endless pool, now is the time during the Rock and Roll event through September 2nd. Get a free upgrade with free music and resistance bands with the purchase of an endless pool fitness system or swim cross exercise system at Burton Pools and Spas. This is a $1,229 retail value. Check it out for yourself. The endless pools. If you want to improve your fitness, relieve pressure in your body, melt away the stress of daily life, an endless pool can be perfect for you, and it's a great choice. See the full line of endless pools for yourself at Burton Pools and Spas during the Rock and Roll event, 6121 Zero Street in Fort Smith, and just off I-49 at the 412 exit in Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com. It's the Endless Pools Rock and Roll event, now through Labor Day at Burton Pools and Spas in Fort Smith and in Springdale.
When the temperature starts heating up outside, it means summer is on its way. Let Pinnacle Telecom ease the heat with a brand new Name Your Speed promotion. That's right. Switch your business to Pinnacle's fast fiber internet and name your internet speed. Any speed, and pay just $50 per month for internet the first 3 months. If you're under contract with the other guys, no problem. Pinnacle will honor this promotion when your term is up. Check us out at pinnacletelecom.com. Offer ends soon. Some restrictions apply.
Attention, please! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, offering smart looks for back to school and serving your community daily. Supercuts, we're super in style. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Jones floating, throws back to the end zone, touchdown! Stephen Harris, there were 2 wideouts going across the back line, and he was on that edge right in the corner, and he pulls it down.
Fall practice underway in full swing, I guess you could say. Already seeing our first reports of injuries from Missouri. Kelly Bryant, and I'm not going to say Albert Okwuegbunam's name properly on the tight end. They're down with injuries right now. Bryant had a hamstring injury and apparently shouldn't be too severe, but whether or not a coach knows that right after the injury happens, who knows? Connor O'Gara paying attention to all of fall practice in the SEC and Big Ten and across the country, joins us on Mondays. And always appreciate your time, Connor. How's your weekend been?
No, hey, thanks for having me. My weekend was fantastic. I was just saying to Tye, I was actually I'm still back in the Midwest right now. I spent a little bit of time with my good buddy is getting married, so bachelor party up in Milwaukee of all places, but. So still like in post-bachelor party recovery mode. Everybody knows what that feels like.
You don't sound like you're hurting. You sound fine. And I can say that as somebody that actually I had a bachelor party partially in Milwaukee. We did Chicago-Milwaukee 14 years ago. It included a Brewers game, tour of the Miller Brewery, some other fun things in Milwaukee. It's a good place. I hope your friend, though, his marriage goes better than mine did.
Oh yeah, I mean, I agree with you that it is a good place. I can't quite comment on the marriage comparison there, but yeah, no, it was a good time. We it was kind of like a good last hurrah before we really get into the thick of things here with college football, with camp starting up and really the season being underway in less than 3 weeks, which is still crazy to me.
Benefit of years in perspective as far as the success of the marriage goes. So I see you are doing predictions of every SEC team game by game on Saturday down south. And I guess you're doing it in alphabetical order because you started with Alabama and Arkansas is next. And you even made fun of yourself. Way to go out on a limb predicting Alabama going 11-0. Be a little bit different picking Arkansas tomorrow. Could you give us a sneak peek what you got planned for the Razorbacks in your column tomorrow?
So yeah, I mean, what we do is with Saturday Down South is we have these day by day, and we're doing it a little bit differently this year. Where we're kind of giving each team its own takeout day, so to speak. And I'm going through the West first, and then I'll have the East predictions after that. But yeah, Alabama of course comes first in either one of those scenarios. And yeah, with Alabama, it's easy when you look at the regular season schedule. With somebody like Arkansas, those are the tougher ones for me when you have to sit down and try and really figure out, okay, how much do I think this team can improve from what we saw last year, and how is that going to translate in each given matchup? And I think that the tough thing is trying to forecast what that's going to look like at the end of the season, because with a program like Arkansas, I really do think it could be very different than what we see in the first couple weeks of the season. Having said that, dare I say, I have Arkansas predicted to win its SEC opener. And then after that, it's going to get a little bit uglier. But, at the same time, we're talking about a 2-win team. And the improvement that Arkansas fans want to see is tripling that win total from last year, getting to that 6-win mark, getting that extra month of practice, and seeing this team improve even more and maybe even get a postseason victory. So right now, I mean, I do have them winning that game against Ole Miss. I've talked a lot about, the inexperience that team has, just especially in the offseason, or on the offensive side of the ball, just the least experienced team on offense of anybody in America. So I do think that Arkansas is able to get on the board in the SEC with that one. And then after that, I just think it's going to be tough. I think it's tough from a depth perspective, and then just with what they're going to have to go against in the trenches with all those good offensive and defensive lines in the SEC West.
Speaking with Connor O'Gara on the Cherokee Casino Hotline here on Halftime. Connor, you just wrote another article also talking about the quarterback rankings in the SEC. Ben Hicks comes at number 13. Why did he land there?
So right now, it's just so tough to judge what we expect to see from him in Chad Morris's offense in the SEC. I understand that we already have multiple years of seeing what he could do at SMU, but it's just all different against this kind of competition. So it is a bit of an unknown. And it wasn't like the guy put up unbelievable numbers during his time at SMU. I mean, if we're talking about somebody who's throwing 50 touchdown passes, something absurd like that, it's a little bit of a different scenario that we're talking about with a grad transfer quarterback. But right now, I do have him. I'm a bit more in the wait-and-see mode. And part of that is just because I think SEC quarterback play is going to be really good. I mean, I think you look at the top half of the conference, and 1 through 7, you got these returning starters, in my opinion, who are, more than capable of taking that next step and being all-conference players. I'm not as hot, and that's not even including somebody like Jake Bentley, who's the most experienced quarterback in the conference. So I do think that there are I think a lot of it is competition-based and just kind of seeing what's around the conference. I think maybe in a typical year he'd be closer to 10 or something like that, but I think that it's just difficult to look at that situation, look at what they have to do at the skill positions to be able to improve, and say that he's, in the top half or even in the middle of the pack immediately in the SEC when he hasn't played a game in the conference yet.
Let's keep the quarterback conversation going. I noticed that you had Kellen Mond over Joe Burrow at 3. I voted for Kellen Mond actually all the way up at 2 at SEC Media Days. I don't remember what you told me your quarterback rankings were. I know you had Fromm ahead of him at 2, but with the third-team All-SEC quarterback, the media selected Joe Burrow. So I'm curious why you think Kellen Mond is better than Joe Burrow. I'm kind of in agreement with you on that one.
And go figure, I actually wrote, right after I saw that, I wrote, I have no problem with Joe Burrow being the third-team guy because I have him at number 4. I don't think that there is a significant gap between Kellen Mond and Joe Burrow. I just give Kellen Mond the nod because I think he has shown he could do everything on the football field. He is a guy that can stretch the field really well with his arm. He improved so much last year in being able to read defenses and make on-target throws. And then it's the willingness to run. It's, he's not necessarily going to be a guy who's going to rack up some absurd Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel-like numbers, but a guy who can hit that home run play in the running game. If you see single coverage and he can just recognize and take off, he's a guy who can score 75, 80-yard touchdowns. And I think that's super rare at the quarterback position as we talk about guys that are just difficult to defend against. And I think Kellen Mond is in that category, and I don't think that he's necessarily the best guy in the SEC, best quarterback in the SEC as he claimed he was at SEC Media Days, but at the same time, just that step that he took last year, now having another full offseason with Jimbo Fisher, I think that the combination of what he did last year with what he returns at the receiver position is going to be really, really positive for an A&M squad that is coming off of a very nice finish to the 2018 season.
Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South joining us each Monday. Connor, we had the preseason polls come out, about a week or a little more than that ago. Which of the polls do you trust the most or pay attention to the most?
The playoff poll, right? I mean,
that's me too. Good choice.
Yeah, I mean, I understand I understand both sides of the argument of people who say that the coaches poll, the AP poll, as we do it in the preseason, it's unnecessary. Sometimes it shapes narratives in an unfair way, and that we shouldn't pay attention to them at all. They generate discussion. That's what they do. And we look forward to hearing this. For coaches, it can create some bulletin board material, and it just kind of sets the table for the college football season. At the same time, I do like waiting until, we have a lot more to judge these teams on. And I like the fact that the playoff committee doesn't have its first rankings come out until 8 weeks into the season. We're able to see, all right, which teams have really separated themselves, who has moved on from whatever preseason narrative followed them, and what have they really been able to do in the sample size that we've been given. So, yeah, I tend to trust that a little bit more, realizing that it is a smaller group of people that is coming up with that list. But I look forward to that, and there's a reason that we're basing the playoff decision on what those committee members think. And, as of right now, though, I mean, I do think that there are interesting parts of the coaches poll and the AP poll because it really is the best indicator of national perception, and it gives us stuff to talk about, obviously, and it gives players and coaches something that they can use as motivation or narratives or whatever they want. So it serves a purpose. How meaningful of one, that's a different discussion probably.
So, I mean, let's talk briefly about one of the discrepancies between the coaches and AP poll that I've noticed here and lead it into another question. I'm almost like trying to answer the question for you. The coaches have 4 SEC teams within the top 5, Bama, Georgia, LSU, Florida, A&M. And the biggest discrepancy that I saw between the coaches and media poll is that Georgia's ranked 3rd by the coaches and are tied with Florida in the AP poll for 7th. So, I mean, the media right now is looking at Georgia as, a very good team with national championship perhaps expectations or playoff expectations, but they got them right there with Florida. Now, my question would be, of these teams, which is the following SEC team that's most open to a big upset at some point? Bama, Georgia, LSU, Florida, or A&M?
Well, we're still waiting on the AP poll to come out. There was the final AP poll for last year, but I think the first AP poll comes out for the preseason comes out I think it comes out the 19th of August, I want to say.
11 o'clock. Yeah, 11 o'clock Central, August 19th.
So it is interesting though that there is still obviously when a coach's poll comes out and you're trying to figure out, all right, which contender is most vulnerable. I think in terms of the regular season, the way that you look at it, Georgia, for as dominant as it's been against the SEC East, it has still suffered that one ugly blemish each of the last 2 years of the Kirby Smart era. That would be the team that in the regular season I would say, they could definitely fall, but. There are a lot of teams, you look at somebody like A&M with that schedule, and it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. But at the same time, strength of schedule should not factor into a preseason ranking. That's preemptive. That's silly. That's why, even last year, LSU deserved to start off in the top 25. Everybody was talking about the strength of schedule. But, at the same time, that also shaped the narrative for LSU. And LSU surpassed those wildly surpassed preseason expectations. Can A&M do that? Can A&M be a team that, might be in the top 15 in the AP poll and in the coaches poll to start the year, but nobody's picking them to finish that high because obviously we know that they have to go against Bama, they got to go against Clemson and Georgia and LSU and potentially 4 of the top 5 or 6 teams in the country. it's murderer's row. And I think that A&M would be unbelievably happy with finishing as well as or even better than their preseason ranking, given what they'll have to go through this year.
Connor, good stuff. Appreciate you coming on. Have a great week, and we'll talk with you next Monday.
Yep, appreciate it, guys.
You got it. Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South. Give him a follow at CJ O'Gara on the Twitter machine. Hey, if you're looking for a new car, get over to Rhodes Chevrolet, the name you've been trusting for over 80 years. You want a place that's dependable in both car buying and car owning? That's Rhodes Chevrolet. A place you're treated like family the moment you walk into the showroom. That is Rhodes Chevrolet, part of the family-owned dealership and service department serving the River Valley for over 8 decades. Your next dependable vehicle is at Rhodes Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, or at RhodesChevy.com. Rhodes Chevrolet, dependable since 1934. Big news coming from Arkansas basketball. We've got a new sophomore transfer commit making his way to the Hill. Give an update next on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Tye Sports Radio.
Why go north when you can get the best deal on a new GMC or Buick here locally at Harry Robinson Buick GMC? There is no reason to drive more than an hour to buy your next vehicle. Harry Robinson has the same big rebates and discounts promised at other dealers, and Harry always gives you more for your trade. So when it comes time for your next vehicle, don't go north. Come see why Harry Robinson is the fastest growing Buick GMC dealer in the region. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off I-540 in Fort Smith.
Is your home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a free weatherization program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, our crews will install measures that will save you money. The services provided through this program are absolutely free to qualifying homes. If you could benefit from free home weatherization improvements, call OG&E at 1-800-272-9741. That's 1-800-272-9741.
This Coors Light is the perfect temperature. How can I tell just based on the sound? I can't. But I can see that the mountain on the can is blue. And when the mountain is blue, your Coors Light is perfectly cold. Coors Light is cold lagered for a crisper taste, cold filtered for brightness and clarity, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. Doesn't that sound good? Coors Light, as cold as the Rockies, available down the street. 2019 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Looking for a high-quality and affordable vehicle? Hertz Car Sales offers a wide selection of high-quality cars, SUVs, or trucks. Amazing customer services with affordable prices on every car. With inventory arriving daily, why not make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard or give them a call at 783-1722. You can also check them out on the web at buyfromhertz.com. Trade-ins are always welcome, so stop by to Hertz Car Sales today. You'll be glad you did.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
They don't build cars like they used to, and they don't repair them like they used to either. Today's vehicles contain advanced lightweight materials and safety features like crumple zones and airbags that help protect your family. Repairing them properly after a collision requires up-to-date training. Evans Body Shop has it. We're among only 10% of shops to meet the industry's highest training standards as a gold-class business. When you pick a collision repair shop, make the smart choice for your family's safety. Choose gold-class trained repair professionals.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Hey, let's have fun today. At Magic Springs today we play.
Magic Springs Theme and Water Park has big rides, big slides, and big concerts. Coming Saturday, August 10th at 7 p.m. Pop Evil, and Seven Dust together. Magic Springs in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Concert is free with your one-day admission or season pass. Get yours at MagicSprings.com or Kroger.
Magic Springs, we love you.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Whaley. Wow. Walks into the end zone. And I mean walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Razorbacks.
Well, we mentioned there is news involving Arkansas basketball, and another transfer is heading to the University of Arkansas. Abayomi Ayola, if I'm saying his name correctly. They call him Baby Ayola. Call him Baby, was 6'9", a forward center that played at Stetson the last year. 10.8 points a game, 7.6 rebound, a little over a block. He had played right there with Corey Williams, who was the head coach at Stetson and is now one of Eric Musselman's new assistant coaches. So it's another get. That takes the last, I believe, the last scholarship that's available for Eric Musselman's first edition of Arkansas, but he's got to sit a year, and then he can play 2 years. Jeff Goodman had also tweeted about this transfer 22 minutes ago, and he calls Arkansas the new transfer university, which Ty's no surprise. I mean, we knew kind of coming in that was Eric Musselman's reputation, the way he would rebuild a team and sometimes keep them going. And, boy, just it is a completely different-looking Arkansas team that he inherited that he's going to be putting on the floor this coming November.
Yeah, Gentel Silla, Connor Vanover, JT Note, and Jimmy Witt Jr. I guess it's 5. Is there someone we're missing? Or is it just 5 with the addition of
I think it's
Baby?
just 5. Remember, 3 of them have to sit one year,
correct.
And only 2 of them are able to get on the court for this next season.
Isaiah Moss was a part of that group, and then he decided against the commitment and ended up going to Kansas. So that was the one other guy in that list.
So that was the last scholarship available. That does answer one of the questions we've had for the last couple of months involving Arkansas basketball. Much more college football talk in hour number 2. Stick around on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and BF Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
Enjoy happy hour 6 days a week at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Monday through Friday from 3 till 6 and all day on Saturday. Enjoy happy hour specials, including $1 off all drinks, and taquito nachos are only $4. Your choice of beef, bean, chicken, or cheese. Happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and all day on Saturday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 6 days a week. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Hello, would you like me to find workout classes near you?
There are no stores that sell glasses within 10 miles of your location.
There's enough artificial in the world. That's why Michelob Ultra is brewed with no artificial colors or flavors. With just 95 calories and 2.6 carbs, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. 2019 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. 95 calories, 2.6 grams carbs, 0.6 grams protein, and 0.0 grams fat for 12 ounces.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where the summer sales drive is in full swing. First, we want to thank everyone who shopped with us in the last couple of months. We appreciate your business. If you haven't been in yet, there's still time. Now through Labor Day, you can save like never before on a great selection of Rath Road Ready premium pre-owned vehicles. Like the special purchase 18 Hyundai Elantra SELs, just $13,993 or zero down and payments as low as $221 a month while they last. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. Buy 3, get 1 free free on all tires, free AC checks, and 10% off all AC work make this a great time to get your car ready for summer vacation or back to school. Plus, there's still time to register for a showroom full of free prizes as well as a grand prize trip to Big Cedar Lodge. Don't miss out on the fun and savings during the summer sales drive at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
No purchase necessary. 0 down payment with approved credit. See dealer for details.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Weather overnight, partly cloudy. Our lows in the upper 60s to low 70s. Monday will be sunny and hot, upper 80s and low 90s. About 70 Monday night and a few clouds. Tuesday hot with a few afternoon showers or thunderstorms possible. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by Hertz Car Sales, 2810 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith. You can call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 26 days.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson.
You do a fantastic job on the radio. There's no one else in this league I'd rather listen to, so keep up the good work.
And Tye Richardson.
Your show is really, really good, guys.
2 more quarters, and after that, most of you will never play this game again.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown.
How about that Heisman, Mark Jones?
How do you like
it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Second hour on a Monday will begin with some of your texts. If you want to get with us, get on the Cherokee Casino hotline, 877-377-6963. JT in Hot Springs says, Ty, it wasn't so much that Isaiah Moss decided to change his mind as it was Adidas gave him a big enough bag of cash to convince him to go to Kansas. I don't know if that was necessarily the case, but I did appreciate the laugh. If you're going to choose between being a guy who can get on the court immediately and play at Arkansas or play at Kansas, and it's not to denigrate Arkansas, but you're still not Kansas right now. So I think it probably made sense for Isaiah Moss. Otherwise, he wouldn't make that change. The other question was coming from, and I don't have a name for him, but he tweets asking, when should we know when Connor Vanover can play this year? And I told him, Ty, that's one of the questions that you and I have been wondering about really for the last 5-6 weeks. I don't know when this announcement or when the decision from the NCAA comes down for Connor Vanover's ability to play next year. I doubt they're going to give him that opportunity. Coaching change is not a good enough reason to get that waiver. But I would imagine he's going to have to sit, and we're just going to find out sometime in the next month or so.
And my personal opinion, it would be better off for his long term here at the Arkansas if he was not granted that waiver, because he doesn't have the size, and I'm not talking about his wingspan and the fact that he's over 7 feet tall. I'm talking about the physicality and the muscles that it's going to need to be in the SEC day in, day out. He's got to put on some weight. He knows that. So if he would get the time in a full workout year to be able to do that, work solely on his game and really work on putting on his weight, I think that would be much more beneficial for him and the program. I know there's people listening right now. It's like, well, Arkansas needs size this year, and they really don't have that, even with the addition of Baby, because he's not going to be able to play unless he gets granted immediate eligibility. But you would rather that Arkansas not have size in year one and then have better post players who are more developed in year two. At least that's my personal opinion.
I would tend to agree with you on that. Again, the size that Vanover brings right now is height. It's not strength necessarily. It can be a rim protector, but it looks like he might actually get pushed out of the way pretty easily too. So, yeah, I agree. 1 year getting bigger and stronger and wider is probably going to be a good thing for Connor Vanover and the basketball program overall. All right, 3 up, 3 down in a moment. Before we get to that, we'll go to the Cherokee Casino hotline. Our friend Eddie from Clarksville is checking in with us. Eddie, how you doing? Have you been fired up now that the team is on the field? Are you fired up about grass on the playing field at Reynolds Razorback Stadium? Is that something that gets the train horn whistling?
Well, sir, it sure would look pretty up on the hill.
But if that's the Good Shepherd's wishes, I'm all for it. You know, we need everything, just like the jerseys representing Darren McFadden there, you know, positive in this fan base, in this football program. And I'm excited. And the fan base should be excited. And like I said, I've been calling in the last couple of weeks trying to get the fan base pumped up a little bit. Because they should be pumped up a little bit. Because you will see a different team on the field this year. Not only with their play on the field, not only it's their attitude. They're going to be a hungry, athletic team. And that's everybody's looking for you. One thing in our advantage, not to even get out of the you're defeated before you get out on the field. Well, we have a different story to tell, gentlemen. And it's our play on the field. And it starts 26 days from this moment. And for this fan base, I talked about the American spirit that Mr. Lindsay touched on when he was doing his tenure at the U of A and his great success within the state, within his business, real estate ventures. You know what a story he is. And he's touched on that American spirit. And I'll ask this fan base, and you have to agree yourself. I've heard many analysts, I don't care who announces a game, talk about that spirit from the Hawk fan base. Is there a greater American spirit displayed on the field on game day than the Hawk Nation? I beg your pardon. And so I've said it before, we need to pack that stadium. What's that going to mean? And I've heard people say, well, it's Portland State. I don't look at it like that, gentlemen. I look like it's a win in this program this year, and we got 5 more to go. And so then we take the Hawk train. How important is Portland State? Well, maybe we see all 3 quarterbacks. I'd like to see Mr. K.J. Jefferson, which is an athletic kid that's mobile, that can zip the ball. And so how important is that? And then we'd see both the quarterbacks on display, between Ben Hicks and Mr. Starkle. Both quarterbacks, by the way, are capable of executing the play that the coaches want to run. And we didn't have that last year. And the fan base, we're looking for this offensive line. That seems to be the biggest question. Not only with analysts across the country, within the fan base, can they sustain a block? And if they do, we're going bowling this year. And so I think they are. I think they're going to be hungry. I think we got more depth on the offensive line. What's that again that we do? Well, Mr. Rakeem Boyd. And you know, our running backs back there with Desmond Whaley. And then you got Hayden. And then you got the young freshman coming in, Mr. Spivey. I think the running game is going to be a lot better. Because why? Because we're going to be able to stretch the field. Because look at the receivers we got. I'm so excited to see Mr. What about you? What are you excited about? I want to see Mr. T. Knox go up and make a spectacular catch. I mean, this guy, I'm telling you, I've been a Hawk fan for over 4 decades, and I'm telling you, he may be the best receiver. There's been some good ones over the years ever suited up for the U of A. Then you got the addition, which I think, in my opinion, is the best tight end in the country. And then you got the best tight end in the country coming in after that, and Mr. Hudson Henry. But we're going to introduce some of the teams in the SEC, too. So, let me tell you this. Our defensive line's got more depth. Our offensive line's a big question, no doubt about it. You've got better receivers. Our running game's going to be better. We got a quarterback play's going to be better. But the number one change in this team, and I've seen it since spring football, is attitude. They're hungry. And what's that going to mean? That means more Hog Light on game day. And so, 26 days, Hog Light begins. And so let's pack that stadium with that American spirit. So this Hog train can get some playing time with some players. That's an important state. And then we go down to Ole Miss at 6:30 in Oxford, Mississippi, when I'm bringing a whistle to Oxford. And I'm going to have to celebrate the first SEC win under the Good Shepherd. And so, what is the importance of that with their 4-0 going in to Arlington, who, by the way, can be 2-2 by then. And we're always right there in the hunt against the Aggies. Even last year when we had no offensive line, when we had no quarterback that could execute a play, we were right there to win the game. So I'm getting ready. So everybody pack that stadium because this team is going bowling. I'll see you in Fayetteville come 26 days from this moment. Thank you for taking my call.
You got it, Eddie. You know, you can tell sometimes with Eddie, it is enthusiasm season. He's always enthusiastic, no matter what. But it's optimistic season for Eddie in Clarksville. In his mind right now, everything is going right. But you've been given no reason to think otherwise, other than what you knew from last year and what you know is returning, and you know the inexperience on this team. So yeah, he's got the optimism. But at the same time, I think that there are plenty of people that feel even pessimistic about a team that can take some steps forward from last year and still finish with 4 wins or 5 wins and look at it as a step forward. Let's see what Robert in Fort Smith thinks about that. Robert, thanks for your call. How you doing?
Hey, guys. Real quick, I'm glad Eddie got that much optimism because I sure don't. But anyway, because I'm thinking 4 wins. But if we've got all this offensive stuff going on, what about the defense? The defense got a few linebackers, but I'm not really sold on all that, the D-backs and everybody. I'm just going to listen beyond the defensive line. I've not heard all these great things about them, so I'll just listen to y'all.
I think that your defensive line will have a little bit of strength to it. Telvin Agim in the middle. If L.J. Smith is able to step into a role that he could fill and make some plays there. Linebacker depth is going to be a problem this year. It's been a problem for a long time. I think they're trying to address that through even some of the recruits that we've seen make their not sign their commitments, but announce their commitment to Arkansas in the last couple of weeks. And you got to be worried about a secondary that is extremely young. So yes, I think you're going to see a big step forward offensively, Robert, but I don't know how much of a giant step forward you'll see defensively. And again, for talk about a team that if you win 5 games, it's a nice step forward. Defensively, I think there'll be some times you think, you know what, this is a bad defense, but at least they're not last year and they look a little bit better.
I think a lot of times we referred how complicated it was for year one of the offense to take hold and to take place in Chad Morris's system. And I know that for the most part, the complexity that John Chavis' defense aren't to the same level as Chad Morris's offense, but they're still trying to implement that side of the football too. It's not like there's a ton of talent to work with. You think about who John Chavis has had over the years at LSU, Tennessee, A&M. He's got a lot more talent that he can kind of make up for whatever, if a scheming mistake or whatever happened, but this isn't the case, and that was showcased last year. So hopefully the defense will be a little farther along, but I think you're a lot more in the confidence, you're a lot more confident in the offense, Phil, like you mentioned, than you are the defense, because I think there's a lot more holes in the defense than there are the offense this year, even though the offensive line is a huge question mark.
Yeah, and I think that'll remain to be a huge question mark until week 2 is done, and then even after that, it's not that Ole Miss is going to have a great defense. You're not going to find out much about what your offensive line is like until the Texas A&M game, which is week number 5. So, it'll all be, good performances or window dressing for the first 4 weeks, and then you'll have a better sense of what might be going on during the game in Jerry World. All right, let's get to what we'd usually do this time of the week on a Monday, 3 up, 3 down.
Strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. What does 3 up and 3 down mean to you, Airman?
End of an inning, strike 3.
I start with some baseball. Houston starting pitching, pretty much going out and saying, you know what, don't tell me starting pitching doesn't matter at all. Don't tell me you can win a World Series with a bunch of openers or just a strong bullpen and nothing else. No, they do have the best starting rotation in baseball. And by the way, did you see? So now you got Garrett Cole, the pitcher of the week, the pitcher of the month for July. You got Justin Verlander, who's a Hall of Famer in waiting. Now you got Zach Greinke, who also potentially could end up a Hall of Famer. And oh, by the way, you trade for a guy named Aaron Sanchez, who had an ERA of over 6 with Toronto, and then his first start with Houston, he combines on a no-hitter of the Seattle Mariners. Houston has just got this reputation and the ability to go along with it to take pitchers who have either been good or mediocre or bad in some other places and changed up their repertoire, get them to focus on throwing different pitches at different spots, and then they end up with Cy Young stuff like Garrett Cole. Not like Aaron Sanchez going to do that, but he did help combine on a no-hitter with 6 no-hit innings against admittedly a pretty bad Seattle team. Houston starting pitching kept Seattle without a base hit for 15 consecutive innings over the weekend. In the last 17 games, Tye Richardson, Houston's ERA for the starting rotation, 1.79. The record for the starters in the last 17 games is 14-1, and they've allowed just 63 hits in just over 105 innings. Houston's starting pitching is way, way up.
Is that ERA you just mentioned good? Is the 14-1 record good? I think that 10.
Those are all fairly good numbers,
just
yes.
Fairly
very, very good numbers. My first down, it's the ACL injury to Noah Gatlin. And it's really because of, I mean, it's not that you will pick positions that you would rather have injuries at, but just for the fact that your offensive line is such a question mark with not much experience, and Gatlin did get some experience as a freshman last year, and just that it was the first day of practice, and this is the first guy that goes down with an injury, it just doesn't portend very well. So I would go with Noah Gatlin's ACL injury as my first down from the weekend.
All right, first up for me, and we'll kind of do a combined up with this one because I know you wanted to touch on it as well. Baker Mayfield getting shot at a Cleveland, and getting shot by a camera at a Cleveland Indians game.
Be careful because some other things happen in Ohio.
And so he was chugging and shotgunning a beer at the game, and what happened was he's just drinking a beer like we've seen so many athletes do over the last couple weeks, last couple months, and
like the kid at the College World Series game, right?
Yeah,
that just he
caught it.
He became more well known than any of the players.
Yeah, and so he does that, and then someone else tosses the beer, and then he bites it and then shotguns it, which was pretty incredible. And the best part about it was the Cleveland Indians Twitter account making fun of Colin Cowherd, saying he would probably call him out for that and stuff, which Colin Cowherd has often had a feud with Baker Mayfield, so I thought that was pretty great. First down for me, Phil, the Red Sox, man. I guess I'm going to have to touch on this baseball. At one point in time, it looked like after beating the Yankees in 3 out of 4, they were on their way to a wild card spot, and now they've lost 8 straight. And I know your lovely lady is a big fan of the Boston Red Sox, and it doesn't look like she'll be seeing postseason baseball from not the College World Series, last year's World Series champ.
Well, I mean, their pitching has taken a total straight dive, and it's shocking to see. They still are able to hit the ball, but they can't keep. And hey, stopping the Yankees from scoring has been awfully difficult of late, really throughout the entire season. But Boston's been getting crushed, so I would agree. And that leads to my second down. And really, right now, you only have 2 real pennant races in Major League Baseball. Now, look, I don't count the wild card race as a pennant race because you're fighting for one game to try to make it to a real postseason series. So I never have looked at the wild card as the real pennant race once they changed things from the way it had been, where you get into a division series as a wild card winner, now to the 2 wild card teams where they're going to play against each other for a chance to play against the best team in the league. So, I mean, you do have some races for wild card, but it's not the same as division races, which just means so much more. The AL East, the Yankees lead by 8 games. The AL West, Houston leads Oakland by 8.5 games. These teams are not going to be challenged in the next couple of months. In the National League, Atlanta leads Philadelphia and Washington by 7 games. I don't see the Braves choking on that. And the Dodgers have a 17-game lead over both Arizona and San Francisco. So you're down to 2 pennant races. And it'll be interesting to see the Cubs with a 1.5 lead over St. Louis. Milwaukee is 4 games out. So you get 3 teams within 4 games in the Central. And in the AL Central, it's Minnesota leaving Cleveland by 3 games. That'll end up being the best pennant race of the month of September. So just 2 pennant races out of 6 divisions for me, that's a little bit down. My second up, I've seen Mike Bianchi, who's a columnist for the Orlando Sentinel and also has a sports talk show, had an interview with UCF athletic director Danny White, who seemed to open the door a little bit to agreeing or being agreeable to a 2-for-1 deal with the University of Florida, if and only if Florida agrees that the one game they're not playing in Gainesville would be played at UCF's on-campus stadium rather than Camping World Stadium, which is where the Citrus Bowl is held, and would be viewed as a neutral site. It all comes down to the number of fans and which fan base is in the stadium. You know what I'm talking about? In Gainesville, you're going to be, it's all Florida fans, practically. I don't know what the ticket allotment would be for UCF, but if you're playing a neutral site game at the Citrus Bowl, both teams get the exact amount of tickets. UCF, and Danny White says, we've built a pretty incredible atmosphere here with this fan base. He wants the home game. I don't blame him. If Florida's getting 2 home games, UCF ought to get at least 1. And just the fact that the door is opening a little bit, this would be one of the more highly anticipated non-conference matchups. I would love to see Florida versus UCF. So the door opening to that a little bit, I'll give that an up.
Phil, here's something I never thought I would see. Bob Costas rapping Ludacris.
Ludacris name-checked you. Then I find out that on his Fine Then CD, Fried Chicken and Beer, there's a cut called Hip Hop Quotables. And one of the quotable lines goes like this. I'd be rolling torpedoes, get blunted with Rastas. And for a hefty fee, I'm on your record like Bob Costas. And it was at that point, boys, that I realized I had actually crossed over into a different realm.
All right, so his son, Keith, back in 2003, comes in the living room, and it's like, Dad, do you know Ludacris name-checked you? And he's like, what? What does that mean? And so his son had to kind of rephrase. Sometimes when I tell you something or Tommy something, I'll have to rephrase because you don't know what I'm referring to when I say something millennial. And when his son said that, so he listened to the track, and he, first of all, said, who's Ludacris? Because he didn't know who the rapper was at the time. And that was at a point in his life where Costas realized he went from a broadcaster to an icon, Phil. And there's a difference. There's certain broadcasters that have stepped over into the icon realm of things, just more of a celebrity type, because there's certain levels you get to just being at the local level, and then all of a sudden you get national, and then you become a spectacle in yourself. And he's definitely reached into that joint. So that was my second up.
Could I get an up if we got Bob Costas to rap What's Your Fantasy by Ludacris instead? That's the one that's got the lyric about wanting to lick you from your head to your toes. I would pay money to see Bob Costas go with those lyrics.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever see that. I think he's just going to do the one that touches on him in the song. Second down for me, Phil, we touched on it before we came on the program today. Antonio Brown's blisters, man, on his feet, those just look rough. And I don't
Even if you're not a person that's disgusted by feet, that was a nasty photo.
Yeah, it's just it's callous, it's dead skin. It looks like it's pretty painful. He actually saw a foot specialist on Saturday, and he's going to hopefully return to practice sometime this week. That was from ESPN, but you got to feel for the guy. And we've made fun of him on the show a lot of different times for some of his antics, some of his quotes, but look at his feet. There's no one doubts that Antonio Brown's a hard worker. He's a feverishly hard worker. But, man, that's a byproduct of working your butt off. And I think I don't know if malpractice is the right word, but he should definitely be, as a guy that makes all that money, he should definitely have someone that stays attentive to that, because I feel like that might have been a little less than wear and tear and just kind of not taking care of yourself.
As somebody that once tweeted a photo of my feet while getting a pedicure, I can definitely. People don't like you tweeting photos of your feet or putting it on Facebook or showing your feet. Some people just don't like feet. So, and for Antonio, I think it was a couple years ago, he tweeted a photo of an injured toe. So he's got a little track record of this. All right, third up, my son's palate. Gabriel is finally eating other foods other than just bacon and chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. And it's because of Lovely Lady's cooking. She's a fantastic cook. We've gotten him to eat in the last few days. We got him to eat tomatoes, mozzarella, and basil. The kid loves basil. We got him to eat sautéed mushrooms and onions.
Good, very good.
I mean, this is it sounds simple, but when you're talking about a 7-year-old, and if you got a 7-year-old, sometimes they are very, very picky about what they're eating. He's finally opening up a little bit. So later on tonight, we'll see if he eats paella or if he can even pronounce it. Third down, and I'll get a little heavy with this. The shooting deaths over the weekend bring me way, way down. And, it was a long time back in October when the synagogue I grew up at in Pittsburgh was shot up and you had 12 people that were murdered. But over the weekend, 29 dead in El Paso and Dayton, 3 other shooting deaths plus 37 injured thanks to shootings in Chicago. Shreveport, an infant was shot in a drive-by. I'm totally sick of it, and we've got to do something. I don't know what, but we have to do something because it feels like this society is tearing itself apart. This seems to be evidence of me to this because there have now been more mass shootings in this country than there have been days that we have endured this year. We have to do something about it, and it brings me way down.
All right, third up for me is Joe Johnson's game winner. Phil, I don't know if you saw this, but he's been tearing it up in the Big Three League, and now his team, the Triplets, are at the top of the standings. He's leading in points per game, assists per game, steals per game, and total four-pointers and total field goals. Here's his game winner from this weekend.
They can win it with a 4-point shot. Johnson wants it for the win. He's got it! ISO Joe! Wow! The Triplets have won it in Milwaukee. Step back, going left, out of bounds.
I love that. He's still killing it. There's NBA players currently, Phil, that are still saying, oh, he definitely could still play in the NBA. I don't know about that, but...
Is that Ian Eagle and Avery Johnson?
It sounded like Avery Johnson. So CBS Sports, so Eagle was probably affiliated with being with Turner and stuff. And that's what I initially thought. I didn't bother to look it up. I probably should have, but it did sound like Avery Johnson.
Avery Johnson goes from coaching Bama to broadcasting the tournament. Hey, I love his voice. He's fun to listen to.
Last thing for me. So we're at the lake yesterday, Phil, up there at Beaver Lake, and you know my policy about drinking on Sundays. I don't do it because I want to get ready for the week. I want to have a clear, conscious mind heading into Monday morning.
For you, Sunday is the new Monday.
Yeah, Sunday is the new Monday. So we have some Capri Suns out on a friend of the program, Matt's boat, and these older ladies see us just drinking these Capri Suns and waters and start yelling and berating us for not bringing drinking beer. And from the last trip that Matt went on out there on the boat, he had a bunch of Busch Heavies and a couple other beers, and so they were in the cooler still, but we weren't drinking them because we didn't want to at that point. And so ladies were like, well, give us your beer. And they just kept they just basically took our beer and being very disrespectful. It was a very awkward situation.
Sounds awkward.
And they just kept on talking to us and stuff. And I pride myself in being a friendly person regardless of who approaches me or whatever. But for them to just come over and demand that we give them beer that we weren't drinking came across as a little rude to me and the people we're on the boat with. And luckily, a friend I was with was really kind to her, and she was kind of relating to them a little bit. But it was just an awkward situation for us all. So that's my third down from this week. Even though the lake trip was fun, it was just a very awkward situation that I don't plan on having again anytime soon.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like anything I'd want to be involved in.
Oh, also, this was the ladies' itinerary. I know we're coming up on our break. They apparently go to the casino on Tuesday night. They go on their motorcycles on Wednesday night. They go climbing on Thursday night, and then they go out drinking on Friday. They were just telling this their itinerary each week.
This is the life.
And apparently, one of the women to initiate the other woman, she had to get her tolerance of alcohol up to 8 Patron shots before they go out.
Holy moly!
Yeah, I don't know how much of that was fabricated or just a flat out lie, but Phil, if I had 8 Patron shots before I went out, my head would be on the floor of whatever bar we were at 10 minutes into the night. Easily.
Sounds like this group of ladies, it is ladies' night every night.
Every night.
And good for them. Very good for them. Hey, if you're a business owner looking for a business that needs more security, or maybe your business needs more curb appeal, the Fence Man has a fence that can give you both. They specialize in custom installations, been doing it for over 40 years. Gates, controlled access card readers. Give the Fence Man a call for a quick, no obligations quote. Call Henry at the Fence Man at 479-782-3936, a division of Quantum Property Services. Back after a break, halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Ready, set, let's roll. Ready, set, let's ride. When in doubt, expense it. You're listening to Halftime. Slide girl by my side, girl. Yeah, we can run. This is the Morning Rush.
It was game time in the labor and delivery room, and my son was soon to be born. And we just had the TV on because we've been there all day. And my son was about to be born with the John Pelfrey Show on TV. And I called a timeout.
Give me the remote.
Stop. And everybody looked at my wife. What are you doing? So he will not be born with the John Pelfrey Show on TV.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Proclaim Construction has been in the industry for a combined 50 years, and they can meet any needs you may have for your home or business. Proclaim is your insurance restoration specialist, and they're offering a no-cost, limited-time free roof inspection, and they'll make your insurance claim if necessary. Whether it's basic repair, remodel, or complete makeover, Proclaim Construction guarantees your satisfaction with the best warranty in the business. Proclaim has references for your peace of mind, and they're licensed, bonded, and insured for your protection. Call 479-407-9598.
Now is the time to book your fundraising and corporate golf outings for 2019 at Eagle Crest Golf Course. Call Eagle Crest now before all the best dates are gone. 479-632-8857. Eagle Crest Golf Course, voted best of the best golf course 2 years in a row. Let their staff take care of everything, from help with your tournament as well as food and beverage service. If you're looking for a place to host your corporate or charity event this year, call Eagle Crest Golf Course. 479-632-8857.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and B.F. Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, B.F. Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
If you're a landowner, hobby farmer, or full-time farmer, Bush Machine and Tractor knows how important this time of year is for you. So make the most of it with a brand new Branson tractor. Offering tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, they have the tractor that's right for you. Make the most of your time this year and ask about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer is Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith. Check out their inventory at bushtractor.com.
Enjoy happy hours 6 days a week at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Monday through Friday from 3 till 6 and all day on Saturday. Enjoy happy hour specials, including $1 off all drinks, and Paquito nachos are only $4. Your choice of beef, bean, chicken, or cheese. Happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and all day on Saturday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 6 days a week. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
At Brankrow Furniture, we have always been involved in supporting and giving back to our community. During the recent historic flooding, many people and their families have been affected, and we continue to keep you in our prayers here at Brankrow Furniture. We want to help by offering no sales tax, free delivery, and sell at discounted prices. We can also store your purchase until you're ready for delivery and setup. May God bless you, and God bless America. Brankrow Furniture, your Made in the USA headquarters. Best seats in the house.
Halftime is brought to you by Coors Light, made to chill. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Takes it on the hop at the 9. He's got a seam, then planted as he got out to the 28-yard line. Dallas Washington picked him up and crushed him.
Ty just gave me a look through our FaceTime because I laughed out loud. Took just a quick look at the Twitter machine before we came back from that break. Paul Feinbaum tweeted a question saying there's just 2 Saturdays left on the calendar without SEC football. Which position group on your team most concerns you right now? And I don't know if you follow fake Wally Hall. His follow is better than following the real Wally Hall on Twitter. And he says sports talk show hosts from the top down, the pool is as weak as it's ever been. He must be talking about this show because we weren't on a year ago during practice. We didn't get on until after week 1 against Eastern Illinois last year. So I think fake Wally Hall is pointing the finger at us.
I think it's more, if we're going to narrow it down even further, if we're going to go down to host-by-host basis, it's definitely me, because the fact that Tawny had to hire a stupid, dumb-witted 23, I was 23 at the time, there just wasn't anyone else to pick out, and he just kind of, you know how you luck into something? What's the opposite of lucking into an employee? It's like forced to, like nowhere else to turn. That's basically what Tommy got with me, unfortunately.
It's called dumb luck.
Yeah.
On your case.
Yeah, I lucked out. Tommy and Pearson Broadcasting did not.
Hey, Ryan Pulley has been signed by the Carolina Panthers, one of 9 cornerbacks on the roster. They waived a safety to make room for Pulley on the 90-man roster, so a little bit of time for Pulley to make his presence felt before they got to get the cut. There'll be a couple cuts in NFL camps before they get to the final roster, so good news there for Ryan Pulley, now on a Carolina Panther secondary, and again, one of 9 cornerbacks that will be fighting for position and playing time. We've got our friend Scotty Bordelon from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette coming up in a moment, but new sponsor on our show is Breeden RV and Power Sports. They are up front. They have no hassle pricing. Right now, every trailer and RV on the lot is heavily discounted. They got savings on new travel trailers and new motorhomes. You'll have the home of maintenance for life right there with you. That's a place where customers become friends. Monthly service specials, great selection of pre-owned trailers and motorhomes. That's Breeden RV and Power Sports. You'll find them off Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma, where dreams become reality. Let Breeden RV and Power Sports start your adventure. Give them a look online, BreedenRVs.com. Scotty Bordelon coming up next. We're talking Arkansas football with Scotty on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com.
Right now, I'm holding a perfectly ice-cold Coors Light. You know how I know it's the perfect temperature? Because the mountain on the can is blue. And also, it's really cold. Every Coors Light is cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged. So make sure the mountain on your can of Coors Light is blue, because that means it's ready to enjoy. Coors Light, as cold as the Rockies. Available down the street. 2019 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Painting your ceiling but afraid of the mess? Hurry to Metters Lumber True Value for a gallon of bright white Easy Care ceiling paint for only $12.99. This non-splatter, quick-dry formula is water-based acrylic, so it's less messy and cleans up easily with soap and water. It also comes with a 15-year warranty. Pick up this great bargain of the month, along with brushes, ladders, tarps, and other accessories to make your painting project go smoothly while supplies last. Have questions? Just ask the painting experts at Metters Lumber True Value.
I'm Lisa Hinton, owner of Champ Hinton Enterprises. For nearly 50 years, the Champ Hinton name has stood for one thing: selling quality cars in a different way. Taking the mumbo jumbo out of the process and making customers happy. All these years and tens of thousands of cars later, we're still here, doing business the way Champ Hinton taught us, selling to generations of families who've become part of our family. Champ Hinton Enterprises, the area's premier used car dealer. Take the Arcoma exit off I-540 or go online at champhinton.com.
It's the Rock and Roll Endless Pools event going on right now at Burton Pools and Spas in Fort Smith and in Springdale. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. If you've seen them on TV and always wondered about an endless pool, now is the time during the Rock and Roll event through September 2nd. Get a free upgrade with free music and resistance bands with the purchase of an endless pool fitness system or swim cross exercise system at Burton Pools and Spas. This is a $1,229 retail value. Check it out for yourself. The endless pools. If you want to improve your fitness, relieve pressure in your body, melt away the stress of daily life, an endless pool can be perfect for you, and it's a great choice. See the full line of endless pools for yourself at Burton Pools and Spas during the Rock and Roll event, 6121 Zero Street in Fort Smith, and just off I-49 at the 412 exit in Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com. It's the Endless Pools Rock and Roll event, now through Labor Day at Burton Pools and Spas in Fort Smith and in Springdale.
Halftime is brought to you by Coors Light, made to chill. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
And he's on in place of the injured Ryan Mallett, and he has been brilliant. 12 of 13. That one's caught. Wow. Down. Whoa, what a rope.
Oh, my goodness. Joe Adams. There's not a backup in the country that can throw a ball like that.
Let's talk with Scotty Bordelon, our friend, our sports writer from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. He's been at Arkansas football practice over the last few days, and we appreciate his time. Scotty, how's it going? How's Monday for you?
Oh, not too bad. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing okay. So I guess everybody's pretty excited about grass being installed today at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. I think you got some sound from Hunter Yurichek. So my question for you is: does this really make a difference? I mean, it's something to look at, and I get maybe players like playing on a little bit better. Is this anything more than just window dressing a stadium and making it look nicer? Or is there something deeper to it?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just kind of a preference between Yurichek and Chad Morris. And when we talked to him earlier, literally the first thing he said was about when he was talking about why they went this route. It was based on a conversation that him and Chad Morris had. That you've heard Morris say it before, that he prefers to play on a grass field, and you just can't. He says you can't beat that on a Saturday afternoon in the SEC. So I think it's more just a preference. Like we were asking, or I guess some reporters asked some of the players how they feel about playing on grass, and I don't think it really makes much of a difference to them. They just want to get out there and play ball.
I think sports writers have a difficult job. It's the same as people that cover politics, because sometimes when you're getting sound bites from those you're covering, and in your case, I'm talking about coaches, it's difficult to separate the wheat from the chaff. And maybe no more time than that. More evident than the first week of practice, where Chad Morris says, "I've never had a better first day of practice," as if that means anything. How? I guess my question is more just like a topic of conversation. It's pretty difficult to get around coach speak 365 a year, but the month of August, it's even more difficult to get around it.
Yeah, it really is. And like we were just talking to Jarquez McClellan, and I have a lot of respect for that kid. He's going to be wearing number 4 this fall to kind of honor a fallen role model. I wrote about that this summer. But we were asking him just kind of like how practice was going. Did we miss anything? Were there any highlights from when we left practice? And he was like, yeah, I was locking Mike Woods up. So there's nothing new there. And then he said he was one of the more physical corners that he thinks that opposing players will see. And he was tossing guys around like salads. Like he literally said that. So it's kind of just hard to kind of weed through what some guys are saying. You don't know if it's hyperbole or what, but it's tough right now. But hopefully we'll start getting some more concrete stuff here pretty soon.
Talking to Scotty Borderline, Whole Hog Sports. You talk about concrete. I know you just got a chance to speak with Chad Morris about Noah Gatlin. What did he say, Scotty? And how do you think his injury impacts the offensive line, in particular the offense?
Yeah, well, Noah's obviously going to be out for a while. Torn ACL, is going to have surgery on it on that right knee that he hurt on Friday night, about 3/4 of the way through practice. They're hoping that he'll be back. They're really hopeful that he'll be back for spring ball next year. But as far as like the right tackle goes, I think they feel pretty good at that spot. Dalton Wagner and Noah Gatlin were. They were going to be competing for playing time at that spot. And I think Wagner's kind of the guy there now, barring, another injury happen or something unforeseen happening. Myron Cunningham also came into the interview room today and said that, he took a few reps at right tackle today too. So I think they feel pretty good, because Cunningham was the guy that coaches have said for a while that he's too good to not play. So he'll find a place for himself on the line, whether it be on the left side or the right side.
So you wrote a really good piece a while back during baseball season on Casey Martin, the impact of his tattoo concerning his mom. And you, me, and Tom Murphy were kind of joking after practice how you've become like the tattoo writer for Whole Hog Sports. Is there any tattoo that kind of stood out to you talking to the players on media day? I know Dre Greenlaw had a really good Arkansas one last year. Is there anyone that stood out to you this media day?
Oh man, I don't know about tattoos on media day. I've been wanting to ask Grant Morgan about his, because he's got a pretty serious sleeve. I think it was on his left arm, but I haven't asked him about that. But I wrote a story on Johnny Gibson last year. He's got the number 19 tattooed on his left forearm. He's the youngest of his grandmother's 19 grandchildren. and the numbers are made up of his relatives' names. So that was pretty unique. And yeah, the Casey Martin story was probably one of the funner stories I've ever written. Talking to his mom was pretty special, and interview I'll never forget for sure. But yeah, I'll probably Grant Morgan's probably next up on my list, I'd have to say.
It's like, when you want somebody to get an emotional story that involves some crying on ESPN, you go to Tom Rinaldi. When you want somebody to write about tattoos for an Arkansas team, you go to Scotty Bordelon, which means to me, Scotty, you got to have one yourself. So what's the Scotty Bordelon tat report?
Yeah, I don't have any. I've been thinking about getting one, but I guess it's more just like guys get those for a reason more often than not, and sometimes there's a pretty good story behind them. So never hurts to ask.
You also wrote about the tight ends, and that's the position more than any of where you feel you're dealing from strength right now. But no team is built upon tight ends. No offense is built upon great tight ends. It's a complementary position, and you've got talent there. I think talent depth, but it's not a team that's going to live and die on the success of the tight ends. I mean, you need these wide receivers to show the reason that they're here. You need your running backs to actually run through the holes that are open. But tight end, it's an exciting position for Arkansas, but really how exciting can that position be sometimes?
Yeah, I think the exciting part, the exciting things that come from the tight end room is probably going to begin and end with Cheyenne O'Grady. Hudson Henry might get in there, make some splash plays too. Grayson, I talked to Grayson Gunner for a while the other day. He feels like he excels in the passing game, whether it's pass protection, executing routes, or working himself open. I remember on last Monday, Barry Lunny said that Grayson Gunner is kind of growing into the guy that he thought that Gunter would be when they recruited him. So I guess that's probably a good thing. Chase Harrell, they said no one in that room is more bought in than Chase Harrell. He's actually expecting a child in September, so his buy-in and his drive and his why is through the roof right now. So he's really dedicated himself and gained almost 30 pounds this offseason. Just completely became a different player. So yeah, that tight end room's interesting. I think the reason I wrote that was one because Barry Lonnie said it's going to be a lot. That room is a lot more than just O'Grady and Hudson Henry, the two guys everybody wants to talk about. So the production as a whole from that room is going to depend a lot on those guys in the middle, like Gunter and Harold, and maybe even a guy like Blake Kern.
But, Ty, you know what I'm getting at there. I mean, it's one thing to have, a great lineage of tight ends that you can trace back a number of years now and guys that are even having success in the NFL. It's nice to be TEU, but wouldn't you rather be running back you or linebacker you or quarterback you? It's just, it's not one of those positions that you're like, we've got a great lineage of tight ends here. All right. What about the other 10 players on the offense?
And I think, guys, it was Brad Edwards over at ESPN.com that came up with the list of the tight end U, running back U. And I think, if I remember correctly, Arkansas came in at 7th on the RBU list. And at one point in time, there were either 1 or 2 on that list. And then tight end-wise, even with 2 Mackey Award winners, with DJ Williams and Hunter Henry, they did not place on that list, which I kind of find interesting. And that kind of, Scotty, that ties to my next point. We're speaking with Scotty Bordelon on the Cherokee Casino hotline right now is the lack of respect that Arkansas is getting nationally. And I get it. They went 2-10 last year. They went 4-8 the year before. This team hasn't been nationally relevant since 2011. So I get that you all got to take that into account. Last week, College Game Day, just to kind of pump up some crowd noise before the season, put out their Heisman snubs these last couple years. Not a single analyst listed said Darren McFadden. Luckily today, Matt Brown of The Athletic came out with his all-decades list of the 2000s, and it had DMAC on that list, Scotty. So what is it going to take for Arkansas to get back on a nationally relevant scale in college football? Is winning like the SEC West, is that the only way that they're going to be able to get respect from national media, college football media members?
Yeah, I would probably say so. Like, winning cures everything, right? And, I mean, if you I guess the coaches did a pretty good job recruiting guys, and so you've got to have, like, the standout guys. I think you could still be, like, a fairly mediocre to bad team if you've got, like, a great player, some great talent that just stands out, like that will get you some relevancy, I think. But yeah, I mean, just this team's talked a lot about earning respect, and they know that nobody's thinking anything of them, and they understand that nobody should be giving them any credit coming off the year they just had. But this team's all about earning some respect, and if Arkansas can compete in the SEC West, then obviously that's definitely going to give the program a step up for sure.
Scott, I want to play this clip real quick from Chad Morris because you echoed almost exactly what he just said earlier last week.
Nobody's giving little Arkansas any credit, and that's okay. You shouldn't. We got to earn it, and we talked about respect and going out and earning it.
So one of the question marks, Scotty, and we got about a minute left, so I'll let you go with this, that certain fans, certain listeners have had with us is they don't feel like Chad Morris is 100% brought in. Now, that may be a small number. I can't accurately tell you how many that is, but they point to, his son is back at HP in Texas, even though I get him not trying to uproot his high school experience. He has all these Texas connections. He would take the A&M job if that happening. You hear that, and Scotty, now we're getting down about 30. Are you sold that Chad Morris is 100% bought in to this Arkansas program?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think he'd be here if he wasn't. And I think it's really just as simple as that. That's the first time I'd heard people questioning whether he was bought in or not. I think he definitely is. He wouldn't be coaching if he wasn't. So I'm not real sure where that came from.
Scotty, always appreciate you joining us. I expect the next time you're with us, you can tell us what tattoo design you got planned for whatever part of your body, okay?
Yeah, I guess I've carved out that space for myself now, haven't I?
You really have. You're the tattoo guy. We appreciate you, man. That's Scotty Bordelon from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. We'll come back. We'll put a cherry on the top of halftime next on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Tye Sports Radio.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the chicken pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
Only 10% of collision repair shops achieve ICAR Gold Class status, the highest training level recognized in the industry. Evans Body Shop is proud to be one of them. We know the latest repair techniques, how to find hidden damage, and repair your car's critical safety features so they work properly again. We invest in training because we would never cut corners with your family's safety at stake, and neither should you. Get your vehicle repaired at Evans Body Shop, where your safety is our top priority. Evans Body Shop, 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren.
Where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where the summer sales drive is in full swing. First, we want to thank everyone who shopped with us in the last couple of months. We appreciate your business. If you haven't been in yet, there's still time. Now through Labor Day, you can save like never before on a great selection of Rath Road Ready premium pre-owned vehicles. Like the special purchase 18 Hyundai Elantra SELs, just $13,993 or zero down and payments as low as $221 a month while they last. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. Buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, free AC checks, and 10% off all AC work. Make this a great time to get your car ready for summer vacation or back to school. Plus, there's still time to register for a showroom full of free prizes as well as a grand prize trip to Big Cedar Lodge. Don't miss out on the fun and savings during the summer sales drive at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
No purchase necessary. Zero down payment with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Tired of all the broken promises and broken equipment at your current gym? The Fort Smith Athletic Club is the nicest and most well-equipped fitness and tennis club in the area with a state-of-the-art fitness center, Pilates, fitness classes, personal and group training, and the best tennis facilities in the region. 7 outdoor courts, 5 indoor courts, plus pickleball and racquetball courts. And free child care is included. The Fort Smith Athletic Club. Call 452-4031 for membership information.
True Grit Running Company is where perseverance meets passion. Whether you're training for your next marathon or just comfortable shoes to keep up with your kids, we have the gear to help you reach your goals. With our slow motion gait analysis and our extensive product knowledge, we have the right pair of shoes for you. We also carry apparel, nutrition, hydration accessories, injury prevention gear, and recovery products. We offer classes, workshops, and group runs. Lace up, show up, and get your grit on. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Looking for a high-quality and affordable vehicle? Hertz Car Sales offers a wide selection of high-quality cars, SUVs, or trucks. Amazing customer services with affordable prices on every car. With inventory arriving daily, why not make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard or give them a call at 783-1722. You can also check them out on the web at buyfromhertz.com. Trade-ins are always welcome, so stop by to Hertz Car Sales today. You'll be glad you did.
Halftime is brought to you by Coors Light.